Welcome to today's video. Wild boar, the crop destroyer that causes the agricultural industry to lose more than 1.5 billion USD each year. But it is also an animal that poses a great challenge to any hunter who dares to face it, who has the courage to conquer them in the most fierce hunt on the planet. Turkey has become one of the key regions in the world for studying and managing large, 100% wild, free-range boar populations. In many farming areas, mature males reach impressive body size, with tusks often measured at over 10 inches. Making them a serious factor in both crop damage and hunter safety. In this documentary, we follow Victory Hunt premium hunting services as they operate across central Turkey and the Mediterranean coast, showing how organised hunts are used as a practical tool to control boar numbers and reduce pressure on local agriculture. Agricultural reports note that in areas with high wild boar densities, crop losses can be as high as 20 to 40% of the yield in each field they plough. On a larger scale, international research estimates that wild boars and feral pigs cause around $1,500 million 0 cents in damage to global agriculture each year, with Europe and the Mediterranean region accounting for a significant portion. It is these figures that are the reason the Turkish state has adopted a controlled hunting policy under the Turkish hunting law, with the Central Hunting Committee setting seasons and annual quotas for wild boars based on damage reports and population surveys, deciding how many wild boars can be legally hunted in each area as a management tool rather than for trophy hunting. From here, our story follows the hunters working by those rules, using scouting, baiting, and daily tracking not only to find the big wild boars, but also to systematically eliminate the groups that cause the most damage to local farms. unlike many wild boar hunting in Texas, where feral hogs are considered unprotected pests, have no fixed hunting seasons, and are virtually unlimited in numbers on private land, hunters in Turkey operate within a much more tightly controlled system that forces them to hunt intelligently and strategically, not just shoot when you see it. In Turkey, wild boars are considered part of a managed wild population, estimated at 400,000 to 450,000, and can only be hunted in official hunting areas with clear hunting seasons. Concentrated herd hunting runs from around early September to around late February, while stalking and night hunting is allowed within the legal framework but must remain within the quotas set by the Central Hunting Commission each year. If hunters or organisers exceed the allowed number or deliberately shoot outside the allowed area, individual or time, they can be subject to fines of up to the equivalent of approximately $600, 0 cents, for each illegally hunted wild boar, along with other administrative penalties and the risk of losing hunting rights in subsequent seasons. If you were a hunter, what would you prefer? A scientifically managed area with clear data on wild boar density? Or the chance to risk chasing large old males with higher safety and legal risks? And if you knew that every trip was planned based on agricultural damage data, not random hunting, would you view wild boar hunting as part of resource management rather than pure entertainment? Moreover, the 4x4 trucks of Turkish hunters are not just for carrying people to the fields, but are tools for a whole process of transporting the hunting team to a location suitable for wind direction, and finally, transporting the downed wild boar to a safe, regulated processing area. If you were a direct participant, would you be willing to accept less improvisation in exchange for such a rigorous and educational wild boar hunting process? The unique thing about the way Turks hunt wild boars is not the number of animals knocked down, but the fact that each shot has a clear reason, based on crop damage data, population surveys, and state-approved quotas. The key is the hunter's discipline in choosing the right herd to harm, knowing when to stop when the quota is full, treating hunting as management rather than shooting for pleasure. What do you think is the most difficult thing to apply this method to where you live? Comment and share, and remember to subscribe to the channel to continue discussing. Texas has over 2.6 million wild boars. That's nearly half the US population. These aren't your farm hogs. They're feral hogs, introduced centuries ago, now running rampant. They destroy $500 million 0 cents in crops yearly, from corn to pecans, and even eat baby livestock. In Sanger, Texas, farmer Garrett Schogner lost 15% of his corn crop in one night to 40 hogs. They also spread diseases like brucellosis, threatening farmers' livelihoods. This isn't just a nuisance, it's a crisis, and Texas farmers are fighting back hard. Texas farmers are pulling out all the stops. Here are the hottest ways they're trapping millions of wild boars, and they're next level. Cage traps. These giant cages can catch entire herds of wild hogs at once. Farmers use corn as bait to keep the hogs happy. In Texas alone, in 2023, these traps caught 461,000 hogs. After years of innovation, American hunters are welcoming 2025 with smart traps. Farmers are using Boar traps with live cameras and smartphone apps to remotely close gates. In Irving, Texas, Wildlife Services used one trap to trap an entire suburban-sounding boar. If given the choice, would you rather go traditional or modern? Additionally, in recent years, methods such as net traps and hanging traps have become less popular due to their limitations and the changing nature of feral hog management. Net traps, which used to involve dropping large nets from trees, are no longer very effective due to the intelligence of feral hogs. Similarly, box traps are used to catch solitary wild hogs, but for large numbers such as today, they are quite time-consuming. Traps are problematic as they can inadvertently trap other animals such as deer. I would choose to provide better control and a higher catch rate rather than the effort of setting a trap that only catches one wild hog. When hunting wild hogs, people also research anti-hog fencing. Lone Star Trapping installs galvanized wire mesh fences to keep wild hogs out of the wild. One farmer in Conroe kept hogs out with a $10,000 0-cent fence. It is also a secret to the success of the American people and is one of the 5 methods of trapping wild hogs I just mentioned. Trapping is just the beginning. Texas hunters are reinventing helicopter hunting with outfits like the Heli Bacon that let you chase hogs from above. Is a fun $4,000 0-cents game to clear 400 0 acres. Hunting is fun, but it disperses wild hogs, so trapping is king. New technology like nonstop, a fertility inhibitor, is being tested, but progress is slow. To win, farmers will be trained at Texas A&M seminars, learning about trap design. This is something fun you can help with. Join a local trapping program. Donate to Texas Wildlife Services or spread the word. Want to join the fight? Tell us your story about the biggest wild hog you've ever hunted in the comments. Share this video to help spread the word.
Africa spans 11.7 million square miles, with about 25% of its territory devoted to wildlife, where elephants and zebras comprise more than 10% of the mammal population. But it is not they who dominate, but lions and leopards. As of 2023, their numbers have risen to an alarming 20,000 lions and about 6,000 leopards. Why are these predators increasingly encroaching on human settlements in Kenya and Tanzania, endangering people and livestock? Their agile hunting habits and poor conservation policies have led to escalating conflicts.
But their hunger did not stop there, and humans were also targets if not controlled. Can anything be done to prevent these dangers and protect people and ecosystems? By July 2023, African governments began taking drastic measures to control lion populations. One of the controversial steps was to allow the gun hunting of lions under strict supervision. This was carefully considered due to the pressure of ecological conservation.
hunters participating were required to place bets with fees of up to $50,000, which required them to have a high sense of responsibility. Hunting licenses stipulate that each hunter can only take down a maximum of 1 to 2 lions in a hunting season. This is to prevent illegal hunting and ensure that hunting activities are not abused for personal gain. The special hunting permit is clearly stated in the Timbavati region of South Africa. A rare white lion still exists with a total of only 13 to 15 individuals recorded nationwide. This is an extremely rare species that is carefully conserved and cared for. Hunting this lion is considered a serious crime, resulting in a fine of up to $100,000, twice the hunting bet. This regulation not only protects the white lion but also sends a clear message about the conservation responsibility of hunters. Understanding the behavior of lions helps hunters deal with them more easily. Lions have an average attack speed of about 50 miles per hour, which requires hunters to maintain a safe distance of at least 100 to 150 yards to react promptly. To ensure safety, hunters should go with a team that always maintains solidarity and close coordination. When moving, take each step slowly and avoid making loud noises, which will reduce the possibility of making lions feel threatened. If you detect a lion, do not look directly into their eyes or turn away to run away, as this stimulates their hunting instincts. Instead, hunters should stay calm, step back slowly, and always observe to come up with an appropriate solution. The hunters' encounters with wild animals are far from over. The once widespread policy of using nets to capture leopards is no longer appropriate. When faced directly with leopards without cover, hunters risk being caught unawares by the animal, which can leap up to 20 feet. Given these risks, African wildlife conservation agencies have decided to turn to controlled leopard hunting with guns. After much research, the South African Leopard Hunting Organisation decided to use bolt-action sniper rifles with .308 Winchester ammunition. This type of gun is not only accurate, but also minimizes the risk of environmental damage thanks to its high aim shooting ability. However, modern weapons cannot replace strategy. Leopards have a habit of dragging their prey up high trees to avoid predators, making them difficult to approach. Hunters in the Sabi-Sang Game Reserve use wild boar or deer as bait, hanging them from tree branches to attract leopards. The pressure increases as the waiting time for the shot increases, requiring patience and extreme concentration to bring down the leopard. To ensure safety and increase the likelihood of approaching leopards, hunters in South Africa often use camouflage tents to wait for them to appear. This method is mainly applied at night when leopards are most active. However, the time of using the tents is limited to avoid noise affecting other animals not on the hunting list. Thank you for following our challenging journey of discovery and hunting in Africa. What moments in today's video were helpful to you? If you have any additional information or experiences about lions and leopard hunting, please feel free to share them in the comments below. Together, let's build a safe, responsible, and respectful hunting community. See you soon.
These approaches have been great at stopping the spread of some invasive species. Got any ideas for even better solutions? Drop your thoughts in the comments so we can all dive into it together. Thanks for sticking around and watching the whole video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And hey, be sure to tell your friends about us too so they can check it out. Bye and see you in the next video.